So we scroll on to 53, it's where we come on to queries. Now queries are pretty simple, but require a little bit of forethought before you run them. So this is the point where you should have all your data entered. So the previous parts, you could have done it without data. To do your queries, the data must be entered and it must be correct. So this is the part we'll go through every single table, enter all the data into it from this table here, and check every single entry. Make sure it is correct, because anything wrong here will mess your queries up. So we scroll back down to 53. We're going to start by doing the query. So every query you can do with create. I would just use query design, but it's not essential. You can use a query wizard. It depends which is more comfortable for you. So in this case, create a query to display an alphabetically sorted list of beach names for beaches with lifeguards in Boroughside and North End. It must display the names of beaches and districts only. In this case, easiest thing to do, hit query design, then read the question. So create a query to display an alphabetically sorted list of beach names for beaches. So that means beaches is a table you have to add. And then we need to have lifeguards, which is part of beaches, that's fine. In Boroughside and North End are districts, so we need to include district as well. It must display the name of districts and beaches only. So everything there we've got from those two tables, so we can close that down. So the first part is, the field is beaches. So beaches dot lifeguard. What that will do is that will show us all the beaches with lifeguards. Now we want to see beach names which have lifeguards. So our criteria there should be yes, or in this case 1. Either or true, in this case it will correct it to true. So it depends what you've done and how you set it up. If you use a text field for yes or no, you need to do a yes or no. If you've done a tick box, just type a 1 or a 0 or true or false, and it will come as criteria as true. Now you want to remove the show tick here, because that is saying show it, and we know we don't want to see this bit of information on there because it's not clear to us. It's redundant information essentially. They've asked for it not to be on there, so we unshow it. Now we want to then show beach names because it wants beach names, so we'll chuck beach names on there, and we'll chuck district name as well. There we go. So alphabetical is still a list of beach names, so alphabetical is on the beach, so we'll sort by A to C. It should be ascending. I might check that later, but I'm pretty sure it's ascending. And create query for beach names for lifeguard in Boroughside and North End. It must be the names of beaches district only. So what I should do, I should find lifeguard on beaches, criteria true, including the beach name and the district name. And we're sorting it alphabetically. So what we can then do is hit run. You can now see Castle and Sidewind are the two districts in Boroughside and North End that have lifeguards. If you're ever uncertain with this, jump back to your design view, hit show on the other one, and run it again, and it will show you the lifeguards are indeed included on these two beaches. Remember, when you take your evidence, always unshow it, so the actual data is then seen. You may also want to save your query, so quick Control S, and we'll call this one beaches with lifeguards. Always use proper names. Don't just use query 1, query 2, query 3, because that's not properly using names, and that can lose you marks. So you want to make sure you're making the names as descriptive as possible without being overly descriptive. So beaches with lifeguards or beach/lifeguard query are all perfectly fine.